The present roof is 24 years old. There's no curling going on. It's in pretty good shape, except for the fact that over the 23 years I've probably done 10, 11, 12 repairs on it from damage, wind damage. And so at 24 years old, I'm thinking we're headed for trouble. And at 68 years old, I'm done climbing up on that roof and repairing shingles. So the roof looks fairly good, and we've got a good start. Delivered their product they're going to install, and looks like a neat package. We're going to put a new sunroof on because the old one I think is repaired properly, but they suggested we go with a new sunroof too over our bathroom. A very neat package on their delivery here. They're going to do the drip edge, or take the old one off and put a new finished drip edge area on it, a new roof vent at the top, vent ridge, and but this is the package that they have delivered, and they will be here in the next day or two and start the installation. I want to show you the finished roofing product. I want to start with these end pieces here. Very nice. It's a great contrast from the White House, but it goes with our black shutters nicely, and they've done a very neat job. Very impressed with how they finished around the sides. The drip edges are they replaced all of my old ones and put the new ones on, much larger. I would say 4-inch on each side, going up the roof, underneath the roof itself, and down to the spouting. I would say they're 4 inches, and very durable. But you can see the neatness of the roof here. My skylight, they built a frame around it, put a new skylight on, and I was up there watching it, and it just as square as could be when they put the frame on. I asked the James, one of the installers, if he would put mesh around it and roofing cement at this base, just as an extra precaution. And I said, well, if you didn't want to do it, I'll go ahead and do it myself. And he was just as polite and nice as could be, and he says, oh, no, I'll do that for you. And he did a good job at the base of that framework, and I will never see rain come through under that base. But on top of that framework, they put flashing on like they usually do, and I just happened to be watching how he did that. I was extremely impressed, and I don't see that skylight ever leaking, even though I've had 2 previous skylights and they both leaked. But I believe this one's going to be where it will never leak. They did a good job putting the rubber boots on my vent pipes. Good rubber boots. They got screw downs every inch around it instead of every 3 or 4 inches. Used good thick caulking, came in a roll, and it just squeezed out all the way around. And then they trimmed that excess that came off with the utility knife. Did a nice, neat job. Now I have put my own ideas on here. I've had vent pipes leak between the boot and the vent pipe. As much as a half a paint can full of water came down through there before I got wise. But I have cut roofing rubber and probably 2 revolutions around there, rotations around there, wrapped it around, and I put a hose clamp, stainless steel, on the top. Now I feel extremely comfortable that this roof will never leak around those vent pipes. My boss had one leak between the vent pipe and the top of the boot. And so if 2 of us that work together have had that leak, well, I know there's hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of them in this country that has leaked. And putting this rubber roofing wrapped around twice with a hose clamp on the vent pipe over the new boot they put on will never leak. This roof is excellent. The flashing that they went down between the 2 roofs with was 40 inches wide. and they did one heck of it. They've got extra boards that came down that lined it, and then they anchored it to those boards. Probably every 20 inches they put boards all the length of the roof, 1x4 boards, nailed them to the existing roof and wood underneath it, and anchored it well. You can walk on this roof. I recommend you use clean tennis shoes. I used dusty work shoes, and I had dust marks all over the place, but they're all washed off now after the last rain. But easily walked on. Again, the finish here over the eaves is just about as neat and perfect as you can get. They did a wonderful job. My cable dish, they took the old leg bolts out and under the vent pipes, and the cable dish they put extra boards, mounting boards underneath, and did a good job. And Joe, he told me that if the cable people come out here and change that, have them put what he put in there instead of putting their little 1 1/4 inch leg screws on, because he said what he did would be much stronger. And amazingly, he aimed it, put it right back on. I don't know how he did it, but he's got it aimed just perfectly where our reception was never bothered. Again, another piece of flashing here. It was 40 inches wide, very good, same material. The roofing material has like 7 coats of different items on it. Zinc, ceramic. I'd have to look it up again, but you want the premium metal on your roof. You don't want to buy a cheap one. You could probably pay 20% more for this roof than you could probably for a cheaper roof, but I think 20% for 100 years is well worth a little bit extra money for the better material. You see the finish around this side, very nice. It's got a nice contrast to the white, just like my black shutters do. But it's a fine job that they've done. We'll go around to the front of the house. The front of the house really improved the neat looking surface as opposed to shingles. It makes the house look bigger, but it really cleaned up the look of the house. It really topped off. This is a premium house. If you ever see my Home Helpful Hints website, you'll see things in the house that is premium, but this is the crowning touch, literally, for this house. It has this is the last job that we need in this house. We'll be maintenance free forever between our concrete job, mowing right-bys, and everything. And I'm very happy with the work. The workers, 4 of them did this. They got here at 8 in the morning, and at 2:15, 2:30 they were pulling out. I never saw harder workers in my life. These guys, you never saw one of them standing around. They hustled. They were good. Very pleasant. We joked and laughed a lot of times during the day. And if I asked them to do something, it was no questions. It was a yes, sir. And they just hopped on it and did everything that I asked of them. So I'm happy inside with this job.
Splash, splash.
This is a day or two after that 1.5 inch hail that we hit right after we put the roof on. And it's a funny thing, we called the insurance people, told them we had a new roof because it's supposedly should lower your insurance rates. Well, she says, well, you're going to have hail damage protection on that. And we just got done with an 1.5-inch hailstorm and didn't affect this roof at all. There's no dents, dings, scratches, or anything. So I don't know about these insurance agents. I think they're a little bit spooky once in a while. So we went to a different insurance agent. Not only did we get a lower rate, but we saved 25% what the premium we were paying. So we have a testimonial about 1.5-inch hail, noise and damage, 0 on both. The roof withstood everything, and it was quieter inside underneath the roof than it was out here on the concrete when that hailstorm was here. So that's the hailstorm report. Listening to the Gary Sullivan Show, a syndicated radio program about home repairs, and he stated that be sure they have insulation on when they put your roof on. Well, I asked the company about that, and they said if you put that insulation on, they've been doing this for 20 years, strictly metal roofs. They said what happens is moisture has no place to escape, and you start to have a mold problem. So they highly recommend, even though Gary Sullivan said to use insulation, not to use insulation and let that roof breathe underneath. With the 7-8 different coatings of metal on there, they just said it's just not a wise thing to trap your moisture underneath the roof. So I'm going to go with what the professional people say, and my existing roof will be my insulation. The 1x4 boards will create a space for aeration and allow moisture to dry out and escape. This is the company that put our metal roof on. I highly recommend this company. Everything about the job was very satisfactory, and I was really happy with what they did. They did say if I got them customers where they could contract a roof from, they would give me a little cash refund. So if you see this website and you happen to contact Shield Exteriors, maybe give me an email at mowriteby@gmail.com, mowriteby@gmail.com, and let me know that you've contracted with them, and I can help pay for my website a little bit. Thank you.